Hello, hello, and welcome to my channel. Past week I did a 7 days water fasting, so I thought on doing a wrap-up video with mentioning a bit what are the benefits and a few tips to improve the fasting, and also how can you break it, as in how can you refeed after 7 days of just water. So my motivation was mainly spiritual, to see how the mind reacts to something, to the lack of something that is so basic for us as is the food, because obviously our lives are quite built around the food, but also because sometimes our relation with the food can be quite an addiction, and there's this thin line between need, necessity, and pleasure. And as we know, pleasures are good as long as it's not all about pleasure. Then you kind of lose yourself in this, like inside the mind on those kind of action dopamine triggers, which are can make you become kind of a slave. So I wanted to explore that, but then also I wanted body reboots, because as you may know already, doing water fasting has a lot of benefits, same as, not same, but I mean also intermittent fasting and shorter fasts have also many benefits, but 7 days is quite awesome. But talking about general on water fasting benefits, one of the things that happens when you do fast is the autophagy. And autophagy is the body's capacity of eating the damaged cells, of eating itself kind of somehow, but what it does is to clean out damaged cells, and this allows to regenerate newer and healthier ones, which implies as well tissue regeneration, and therefore this helps fighting against aging, which is something I guess that everyone kind of wants. And then as well, sorry, we give some organs such as the liver, the kidneys, even the lymphatic system. You give them the opportunity to breathe a bit, and that allows them to clean and detoxify themselves with all this accumulated stuff that we may have in our bodies. And then as well, you have to take into account all the amount of energy we use on digestion, and not just digestion, but all the in out of foods is a lot of energy for the body. So you save all that, which can be then used to all this repairing process. But then also it can be used for your brain, so you may find yourself you are actually quite energetic and with very good brain clarity and focus. Obviously it's not going to be all the time, mostly when you do these kind of 7 days prolonged fastings, which can be much longer though. But you will find times that are very tough, that you may find yourself very weak or dizzy, lack motivation, and all those things can drag you down, and you won't feel any kind of this of clarity or focus. It will be a bit of a mixed bag, obviously. But then all this process of cleaning and repairing, it will give you the opportunity to do these body reboots, and can actually help with a lot of chronic diseases, with pain, with inflammation, even with things like high blood pressure or even diabetes, like the sensitivity to insulin. So yeah, I think it's something that somehow we should all try, but obviously be careful with that. It's not like saying to everyone just do it. You have to be aware of your health issues, and not everyone can go into a water fasting longer than 1 to 3 days without supervision first. Maybe you need to consult with a doctor first and see if you can do it, or if you have some important underlying conditions, or if you maybe had some eating disorders before. There are things that maybe it's not good for you to do it. So I'm not saying everyone do it, but if you can do it and it's safe for you, can be amazing. And there are a few things that you will need to take into account that I found out with my experience of on these last 7 days that I did the fasting. So first of all, if you're a woman, be very wise on which week of the month you choose to do it. For me, I began one day at 9 p.m. and next day I began ovulating on my left, which actually I've been one whole year with some problems with my ovulations, and it's very painful, and mostly on my left. And so it was hell first 2 days, and also because of all this peak of hormones, my mind is not the same. My mind is weaker, and I had all this body pain, and then as well I was without eating, so first 2 days were quite a nightmare. Sorry, my throat is funny today. So yeah, if you're a woman, choose wisely your week, and if you're going to even do more than 7 days water fasting, maybe choose what you rather. If maybe because it will fall, if it's 14 days or longer, it's going to fall in one, in the ovulation or in the period for sure. But then you may choose the stronger week, the first, so you build up, and then as general, I found out that usually you need to take sodium, potassium, and magnesium. So I choose to take 4 grams of pink Himalayan salt every day. Obviously you have to spread that through the whole day. And then the magnesium and the potassium, I choose citrates and bio. So powder, pure, without any kind of additives. Be careful which supplements you choose, because they may contain sugars or some things that you don't want to take while water fasting. Obviously, take into account the amount of water you drink. I was drinking just 2 liters because it was not hot, and I was not precisely exercising, and so for me it was enough. But it's not convenient to overdrink or underdrink, so just be aware of the color of your pee. If it's too dark, you are not drinking enough. If it's too clear, you're drinking too much. And then I will say there are a few things to take into account to keep your sanity for the body, for the mind, and for the soul. So I was barely doing any kind of exercise, and one of the days towards the end, when I was entering my 7th day, I had my Qigong and in Tai Chi classes, which is 2 hours and a half, and I thought I was not going to be able to do it because I was feeling very weak. And actually was amazing, and I felt absolutely revitalized after it, mentally and physically. So I completely recommend to include exercise. Maybe not crazy heat exercise, but include exercise every day, even if it's just a brisk walk and active stretches like yoga stretches. So yeah, keep yourself active. Then for the mind, I will say keep it busy as much as you can, because if not, days get very, very, very long. So yeah, talk with friends and do schedule activities that you like maybe it's coloring, painting, knitting, crocheting, study to keep the mind sharp. No social media, completely. No social media. I had a few moments, a few days in which I was absolutely obsessed with TikTok, and then you begin to see recipes, and I was saving everything. Oh my God! And then you begin completely obsessed. So no social media. It will drag you down. And then for the soul, Obviously, if you are doing it for a spiritual way, and even if you don't meditate a bit every day, or if you are not accustomed to do meditation, maybe write a journal to keep this awareness of what you're feeling, what are your thoughts, sensations, and yeah, being mindful about the amazing thing that you're doing. And well, yeah, be aware of those. The days are extra long. It's like 1 week felt like 2 weeks. I haven't had a week so long since I'm a child. So yeah, just be aware of that. And you also don't. You're not wasting time on groceries, cooking, eating. Then you don't need to sleep so much. If you need, it's just the mind dragging you down, as in the sense of because you lack motivation, you're sad, because it's really like getting rid of food is like getting rid of an addiction. I kind of completely can compare it to quitting smoking. Like the first 3 days, you are absolutely sad and dismotivated. Then it begins to be a bit better. Mostly by day 5, 6, you begin to be quite strong. And then how to break the fast? I will say very carefully. Because obviously the temptation will be to absolutely have a fast, right? And that's what you mostly like. But you have to take into account that the body has been on stop for 7 days, and even your capacity to produce acids is not there. So you have to be very careful on the amounts and the quality of the food you're taking. So I would say that the first 2-3 days just take blended foods. I opted to take some veggie soup as my first meal. Then on the next day for breakfast, I had a smoothie, and then I kept having food during that whole day, and next whole day, 2 days complete just soup and smoothie. It can be difficult, I say. It can be pretty difficult to cook after 7 days of, because obviously I didn't want to buy any processed food. That is kind of like a no. So because I choose to do the veggie soup, I had to cook it myself. Yeah, good luck with that. It was very interesting, the experience of cooking without being able to eat yet. And then I had a meditation right before my first meal, and actually it was amazing meditation. And yeah, so that for 2-3 days, maybe at day 3, day 4, you can begin incorporating some solids. In my case, I'm going to incorporate like some grilled veggies and maybe some rice or millet. I'm not sure because this is my day, my 3.5 day. So yeah, some grains or some veggies, and that's gonna be mostly it. And full fruits, as in without blending. And then you can begin introducing on day 4, day 5, you can begin introducing other things like gluten, like toast, bread or pasta. I'm gonna do some bread and some pasta tomorrow. I've been craving it so badly, but I wanted to wait a bit because the gluten is not as easy to digest. It takes a bit for the body to be able to break it. So yeah, I think day 4, day 5 is safe. Then again, listen to your body, how the body is feeling, how the first meals are feeling on your guts. If everything is correct, you may need to adjust a bit and say, okay, instead of 3-4 days, it's going to be 4 or 5 or something like that. And then if you eat meat or take dairy products, so maybe wait for day 5-6 to introduce other meats. I will say, so then let it be just chicken and maybe fish, and leave the other harder meats for after 7 days. And yeah, keep it hydrated during these days. And yeah, what can I say? My as to wrapping it up, my things that I noticed have improved while my fasting was that obviously the skin, then the teeth are much whiter, and then the joints are much better. I had an injury in this elbow, a real injury, and it was more than 8 months old and was still very painful. Gone completely. Awesome. And then you will find yourself with a stronger mind, stronger will, and you will find appreciating food completely different and really seeing that difference between necessity, need, what you really need, and what is pleasure. That I think is amazing. Also, your body feels lighter, and all the digestive system feels healthier, feels like more oiled, if you know what I mean. And yeah, has been an amazing experience. You grow on your knowledge of yourself and on this new fasting journey. So I think all are advantages, but just be aware it's hard. I thought it was going to be not too hard. Well, for me it was quite hard, but I'm totally up to do this more frequently. I want to do again another 7 days fast. I think that from now on is something that I'm going to incorporate in my life with certain frequency. So, well, hope you found this interesting. If so, if you give me a thumbs up, I absolutely appreciate it. That's very helpful. So take care and stay safe.